Hello everyone, welcome to Victoria 3. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to form Italy. So, few things you need to know. There are 7 nations that have the potential to form Italy, those being Two Sicilies, the Papal States, Tuscany, Lucca, Parma, Modena, and Sardinia Piedmont. To form Italy, you're going to have to do 2 things. You're going to have to research nationalism and be a major power. Only one of these nations that I've listed is a major power at the beginning of the game, so they are the easiest to form Italy with, and that is the nation of Two Sicilies. So that is who we will be playing as today. So the first thing we're going to do in order to form Italy is check our relations with all of our other Italian neighbors. We are looking for a specific attribute known as views you as a natural enemy. If any of these 6 nations have this, I recommend you restart, and if any of these smaller nations have it, you have to restart. So we're going to check all of these one by one. Looks like the Papal States, we're going to come over to Attitude. The Papal States do not have it. Time to check Tuscany. Looks like they do have it. They view us as a natural enemy. For Tuscany, this is not game breaking. Tuscany is actually the best out of all 6 to have this modifier, so we're going to continue. Looks like Lucca does not have it. Modena does not have it. Parma does not have it. And Sardinia Piedmont does not have it. This is a pretty good setup for this. Now, if any of these smaller nations, Parma, Lucca, or Modena have it, then you do have to restart because there seems to be a bug right now that prevents you from launching a unification play if one of the states you are trying to launch against is in a customs union with a different nation. And those 3 are in the customs union with Austria. So for whatever reason, the game bugs out and does not allow you to launch a unification play, so you cannot get them into Italy. If it is the Papal States or Sardinia Piedmont, those 2 are the second worst, as they do not prevent you from launching a unification play, but because they have borders with powerful nations, if those nations were to back them, it would make it much more difficult for you to successfully complete your war goals. Tuscany does not share a border with any major powers though, and is the easiest out of those 3 to invade, because you can just do it navally while they're fighting in other wars. So, because only Tuscany has this modifier, we are going to continue with this one. If any of the others have it, I recommend you restart. So, first thing we're going to research is, under the Society tab, is mass communication. This is going to unlock the path towards nationalism, which is one of the prerequisites we need in order to form Italy. The other thing you're going to do before we unpause the game is come over to the budget tab and change our military wages to 5. This is going to give our army power projection a 20% buff, which is going to keep us as a major nation, as that is the second prerequisite to forming Italy. Once those 2 things are done, you can set up your economy however you would like, you can set up your government however you would like. Those 2 things are not going to change the rest of this tutorial. All I'm going to do is set my industries to automatically expand and leave my government as is. I will also be changing to the iron frame buildings. The last thing you're going to do before you unpause the game is you are going to improve relations with every Italian country that is not antagonistic towards you. So for me, that is the Papal State, Lucca, Modena, Parma, and Sardinia. And because we plan to go to war with Tuscany later, we can see that we have a cordial relationship with them. We need this to be down to neutral at least. So we are going to actively damage our relations with them until it reaches neutral. Looks like that was only 1 tick, so I'm going to stop damaging relations so we can have a higher surplus of influence. Alright, mass communication has just finished researching. We are going to move on to nationalism. Once you get a little bit of a surplus of influence, I would recommend taking that extra influence and improving your relations with either Austria or France, as those are the 2 that usually get involved first in any unification play that is launched, starting with Austria. So improve relations with them if you get extra influence, and then unpause. Alright, we just finished researching nationalism. At this point, you can take your research slot and you can research anything else that you would like in this run. I'm going to choose to do production, but you can do whatever you like at this point. It's time to come over to the Cultures tab on the left, click on Nation Formation on the right, and click on Italy. Now, we're going to unpause for just a second and we're going to take a look at who supports us and who does not. So, looks like we have the support of everyone except for Tuscany. Now, Tuscany does not support us because they have the modifier of viewing us as a natural enemy. Now, you may come across a scenario where a nation does not view you as a natural enemy, but does not support you either, and their attitude sits as cautious. That would be this right here. This will sit as cautious. If that happens, the way that you will fix it is you will come to research, You will come over to society, you're going to research banking and then central banking, and then you're going to use the bankroll option to bypass the improved relations cap of 50 and get it all the way up to 80, which would put you at friendly, which will cause them to support you as the Italian unification candidate. Now, if I would like, I could go ahead and form Italy myself, but I would be missing out on Tuscany. I want Tuscany, so instead we're going to launch a unification play. In this one, it looks like I have the support of everyone except Tuscany in Italy. I also have the support of France, Austria, and the Ottoman Empire, and the ones that might turn against me are Great Britain, Russia, Prussia, Sweden, and Spain. None of these countries actually have a border with Tuscany, so we are going to go ahead and launch this unification play. Now we're going to go to the diplomatic play tab, and we are going to watch and see if anyone actually joins the Tuscan side. And it looks like I've also gotten a pop-up to unify with the Papal States. I'm going to take it, and we're going to go ahead and annex them and give us a full border with Tuscany. Also, you will get the event Giuseppe Garibaldi. This man is an amazing general, and letting him lead the front is an amazing idea. So, back to the diplomatic play screen, we're going to watch and see what Tuscany does, or if they get anyone on their side. Looks like they got Prussia and Spain to join them, so to counteract that, we are going to get Austria to deal with Prussia, offer them an obligation, and in order to deal with Spain, we're going to get France, because they have a border. I have to wait just a second to offer another obligation, but there we go. We'll offer France an obligation so that they can deal with Spain. We'll see if Tuscany goes after anyone else. It looks like they do not have the maneuvers left, so we can actually add a war goal if we would like, though there doesn't seem to be anything worthwhile. So instead, we are just going to offer an obligation to another country. In this case, it's going to be Russia, because they also have a border with Prussia, which is going to put more pressure on them. There is a small chance that they decide to back down, but I've never seen that happen, so we're just going to assume that we're going to have to fight. So I'm going to go ahead and mobilize. I'm going to grab Giuseppe, mobilize him, put him to attack, and I'm going to take this other dude, and we're going to do a naval invasion as soon as the war starts. Naval invade in Tuscany, and we'll just take Carlo. That should be fine. All right. See the push. Looks like the Prussians actually brought in quite a few troops. Actually, no, this might be the Spanish. The Spanish have brought in troops to defend Tuscany. And the Prussians. But I don't think it's going to matter, especially not once we get the naval invasion and the sheer amount of numbers that we have over them. Oh, also, because we united with the Papal States, we're going to have this negative, unhealthy economy. That's because Rome is unincorporated. So, go over to the political lens down at the bottom, State Actions, Incorporate States. You're going to incorporate all of these while the war is going, and pause your construction so that you don't lose quite as much money. Alright, we're going to keep watching this war. Looks like we are pushing in. They are not able to secure their fronts. 10 versus 25. Looks like we're not going to win that push, but our naval invasion did secure landing, and we've got the Prussians surrounded here. We'll just keep the pressure on. We have 100% of our war goals, only 33% of the country is occupied, though. If we can get that up higher, looks like we did get it up higher to 50. Just keep on pushing until they eventually give up, as they will not be able to hold this forever. And Tuscany is completely taken over. Looks like that's 100% from occupation, 100% from war goals. They're losing 12 per week. This is going to be over in just under a month. Unify Italy. And looks like Prussia is still doing something up here with a war. We already unified Italy, so we're just going to propose a white peace. They're going to take it. We are now Italy as Two Sicilies, but if we want to actually be Italy, we can come over to here. And now we can click the button of Form Italy, and there we are. We are now the beautiful nation of Italia. You will have to do the same thing that you did before. Come over to the political lens down at the bottom, State Actions, Incorporate States, incorporate everybody. Otherwise, you're going to have this big, nasty, unhealthy economy modifier for the rest of the game. So, we're going to incorporate, and while that is incorporating, we're going to sit and do nothing, because this is going to go away as we slowly incorporate the states. You will see that our deficit is slowly going away. Negative 16,000, negative 14,000, negative 13,000. That is going to go away completely once we are done incorporating everything. Now, while that's doing that, you can see that we are now a great power. This comes with a few more advantages. You come over to the diplomatic lens, declared interest, we can declare interest in the Ottoman Empire, in Spain, North Africa, Egypt, and Arabia. That is the entire borders of the old Roman Empire, minus England and northern France. Give that just a second to become an interest. And you'll notice that if we hover over Make Puppet, you can actually puppet the Ottoman Empire. This will come at a cost of 195 infamy, but this is a great next step if you want to do something after forming Italy. So we're going to give it just a little bit of time for our economy to fix, just so I can show you that yes, this is nothing to worry about. And there we have it. We are now in surplus. We can start our construction back up, and we will be at a net positive. And this will only continue to grow up as we are only 50% of the way done with incorporating states, except for the papal states, which we had already done. It's going to take a little bit longer to incorporate everything, but by the time you're done, you are going to have a very nice economy. Your military is going to be up to 92 battalions, which is quite nice. Alright, everything's now incorporated. We're making a surplus of £16,000 per week. That's with our old construction from our Two Sicily borders. Our GDP is up to 18 million. Our population is up to 16 million. We are the 7th highest ranked power in the world, and all of that came with a single war against an insignificant power. Like I say, at this point you have quite a few expansion opportunities. You can go down into Africa, which would be my personal preference. If you can figure out a way to conquer the Ottoman Empire as Italy, I would definitely do that. You will become infamous if you choose to do that, but I think the benefits would speak for themselves, as controlling the Ottoman Empire and Italy would be very, very powerful in this game. But yes, that is going to do it for today. If you liked the video, please be sure to leave a like. It helps me quite a lot. Leave a comment letting me know which country you would like to see done next. And if you like content like this, be sure to subscribe, because I will be making more guides like this for Victoria 3 and maybe even other Paradox games if you guys decide that that's something you might like. So without further ado, I will catch you all in the next one. Goodbye.